15 NFCA Hall of Fame inductee, Joe Evans.
All right, so I'm going to tell you right up front, I don't know any puns, so you're going to have to wait for Kathy to get back up here again. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm certainly honored and excited to be amongst all of you people. So I want to thank the NFCA, my peers and administrators who supported my nomination, and to congratulate Anita and Clint on their tremendous accomplishments. I also want to take just a minute, indulge myself here, and just thank my family and friends, my parents who just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary. I don't know how they do it, but they figured it out. They've got it down. All my siblings are here, their spouses, my Texas friends, family, former players, my administrator. I noticed that my sport administrator was in every single one of those shots they took. So you got some good press tonight, buddy. All my former players, I would apologize for all the whoops, but they can't help it. It's just in their blood. And just really excited that so many people came here from my inner circle and beyond, and I just really appreciate it. So thanks you guys for being here. All right. I couldn't be here tonight were it not for the many, many people in my life who've not only supported me, but also challenged me in ways that have made me who I am. My parents, first and foremost, have had a profoundly positive influence on the course of my life. My mother, who was my first coach, my first life coach in every sense, who modeled for me what it looks like to be selfless. And when it comes to my family, my friends, my job, to always have the greater good in mind. She always attended my games, both as a player and now as a coach, and who still calls me after every game to leave a message assessing how the game went. If our team doesn't play well, she says, "Bummer, that was the pits. We're proud of you, and I love you." And if we win, she gives the Aggie whoop, and she says, "I'm proud of you, and I love you." So I appreciate your support, Mom. My father, too, coached me for many years and talked the game with me. Some of my fondest memories of my childhood are of sitting around the dinner table, talking the game, dissecting the game, and not just my performance, but the mechanics of the game, philosophy, and the flow of the game itself. Through them, I learned the sophistication of the game and a pure love for the game. I do want to thank my father especially for one other thing, as he taught me through his example what it means to be a feminist, to stand up for myself, believe in myself, and have the courage to act on the strength of my convictions as a woman. It's important to say that I didn't get here tonight all at once, and indeed wouldn't have gotten here at all were it not for so much help along the way from my family, my friends, my coaches, my fellow teammates, my assistant coaches and staff, and of course my many, many beloved players. I want to take a few moments to reflect on the people who have supported me along the way, as well as reflect on some specific experiences which taught me how to carry myself, what matters most in a life and in a career, and how to deal with success and failure in ways that always emphasizes that what is most important about softball is not necessarily or not solely winning and losing, but the relationships you build and honor and nurture. My first important lesson in life, for instance, came after a baseball game. I was 8 years old, and there were no girls softball teams in my area. My brother was only 14, but he and his friend were coaching an 8-year-old Little League baseball team. I would attend many of his games, and one day he put me into pitch, and I struck out the side. The opposing team's parents were naturally up in arms about a girl striking out their sons. So my first success nearly resulted in the end of my baseball career as I was banished from the team. Fortunately, my brother set up a practice game so that I could pitch for his team. As the story goes, I was extremely pleased with my performance, and my behavior was totally obnoxious. Apparently chanting, "Hey, batter, batter, swing," while you're actually throwing the pitch is, in fact, crossing the line. When I got home that night, my dad let me have it for being so self-satisfied and arrogant. He was harsh, honest, and I absolutely deserved it. I learned then what has stayed with me my whole life, shaping who I am as a coach and as an individual. It has shaped how I handle success and failure and gave me a profound lesson in humility, teaching me to respect my opponent, to respect the game, to respect the very essence of the game, and to always show reverence for the game. And equally important, it taught me a lifelong lesson that my victory is everyone's victory. Every victory belongs to every single person who's participated in the game. It goes beyond the chalk lines to my parents and siblings in the stand, the field crew who drags the field, the assistant coaches in the trenches, and the players without whose sacrifice and commitment no success at all would be possible. My first college coaching job at Florida State came about accidentally, but it was a tremendous fortune to land it. I was a fifth-year student assistant coach at Utah, and our assistant coach had just left for a head coaching job at South Carolina. She offered me an opportunity to coach with her, so my plan was to move to Columbia in the fall. Unfortunately, the plan fell through, and I wasn't sure whether I'd have a coaching job or not. Luckily for me, Joanne Graff, the head coach at Florida State, called the coach at South Carolina and told her they were looking for a pitching coach to help them convert from slow pitch to fast pitch that next season. I had no experience working with pitchers, but like most players, I pitched some on my summer team, and in college, my coach would pitch me only in the games that she knew we had absolutely no chance of losing. I figured it was best not to fill in such details for Coach Graff, and I jumped at the opportunity. My 2 years as an assistant coach at Florida State were a positive experience filled with lots of personal growth and professional growth as well. This was a huge first step for me professionally, and I will always be grateful and indebted to Coach Graff for giving me my first coaching opportunity. From FSU, I got my first head coaching job at Colorado State. I was only 24 years old, just 2 years older than the oldest player on my team. I got this job because of the recommendation of Fern Gardner, the associate AD at Utah at the time, and also my head coach, Norma Carr. Utah and CSU were in the same conference, and the adage, "It's not what you know, but who you know," certainly held true in this case. I basically got the job because two highly influential people believed in me. My first experience at CSU, however, is proof of my youth, my naivete, and my inexperience. The first week on the job, one of my players injured her knee playing flag football. She was laid up in her apartment, so I thought it would be a nice gesture to go in and check up on her. I was sitting there visiting with her when her roommate, whom I had never met, walked in the door. Her roommate walked over, handed my player a 6-pack of beer and a prescription bottle of painkillers, and said, "This is the last time I'm going to the store for you." My player looked at me, she looked back at her roommate, and then introduced her to me as her new head coach. I had no idea what to do in that moment, so what did I do? I got out of there as fast as I could, and I never said another word about it. I share this story to say I was very young and very naive, And the fact that the administration at Colorado State believed in me and hired me at my age with only 2 years of experience as an assistant coach is nothing short of a miracle, or perhaps more likely, no one else had wanted the job. And this is because before I got to CSU, the program the year before had 7 wins, and 2 of those were forfeit wins. So when we got our 8th win, I figured I am good to go. There's no way I'm going to get fired. It's a perfect first job. I'm grateful for all the players at CSU, players like Terry Clement Goldberg, who went on to play for the USA national team, players who put their trust and faith in me, who took a chance on a young, inexperienced coach, and who allowed me to grow as a head coach. In my 4th and final year, we won a conference championship, and it was in these years with these players that I first learned how important team chemistry is to winning. After my 4th year at CSU, I had the tremendous good fortune to return to my alma mater, the University of Utah, as the head coach. The same people who had recommended me for the Colorado State job were now hiring me at Utah. I loved my time at Utah. I'm grateful to all the players and staff who I worked with, many of whom remain friends to this day, and several who are in the crowd tonight. I am grateful to all of those players and really love you and admire what you're doing in your lives now. I still think the best recruiting job I ever did was keeping Charmel Green from leaving the U. Charmel played her freshman and sophomore years at Utah, but had decided to leave at the end of her sophomore year. I had just gotten the job, and I was familiar with Charmel's talents, having tried to get her out the past 2 years. So the first thing I did when I took the job was to get on a plane and talk Charmel into coming back to Utah and playing for us. Long story short, she came back, had a phenomenal junior year, and won an All-America honor that season. We put Charmel on a plane to the College World Series in Oklahoma City, and when she got back, she went there to receive her award, and when she got back, I said, "Hey, how was it?" I was so excited to hear. And all she said was, "It was good, but I'm not going back next year without my team." And sure enough, the next year, behind Charmel's senior leadership, we were the #1 seed in the conference tournament. We entered the championship game undefeated and matched up with Creighton. Game 1 went 31 long, crazy, emotional innings, and we ended up with a heartbreaking loss. 20 minutes later, we started the if game, and at the end of 25 innings, which was 56 total innings on the night and 12 straight hours of competing for the championship, which was literally from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., we were finally crowned WAC champions. To this day, this experience remains the most unbelievable of my coaching career, and I hope it never happens again. I want the championship, but I want it a lot quicker than that. We were sent to Texas A&M the next weekend for regionals and managed to upset the home team and win a berth to the College World Series. So Charmel Green, a year later, held true to her promise. She did not go back to the College World Series without her team, and thankfully, she took her coaches too. Over the years, I have coached so many difference makers, so many leaders, and a handful of exceptional leaders. Charmel was exceptional. I need a page turner here. After 7 years at my alma mater and coaching in my home state, Texas A&M came calling. As hard as it was to leave my family, my friends, and the program I loved, it was time for me to stretch myself as a coach and as a person and to take on a new challenge. At Texas A&M, I have found a new home. I am simply honored each day to be a part of something much bigger than myself, home of the 12th man. In 1922, E. King Gill, a basketball student athlete at Texas A&M, was sitting in the stands watching the football team compete. Several of A&M players went down with injuries, and at halftime, the head coach pulled E. King Gill from the stands and put him in uniform. He stood beside the coach the rest of the game, ready to enter if need be. E. King Gill never went into the game, but from that day forward, the student body at Texas A&M refers to itself as the 12th man and stands the entire game, symbolic of E. King Gill and his willingness to stand ready to help his beloved school in time of need. It is this kind of selflessness and loyalty that makes Texas A&M an extraordinary place to be. At A&M, I have coached numerous players who have impacted my life in profound ways. And I have had the great privilege of coaching 20 years with my best friend who has seen me at my absolute best and my absolute worst and stood by me on every occasion just the same. JJ, I wouldn't want to do this without you, and I simply couldn't have. I have far too many people to thank, from administrators and members of my coaching staff to players, parents, fans, and peers. Yet I want to thank all of you, so many of you who have helped me stand here today, being honored in a way that still seems inconceivable to me. But whatever my victories are or successes have been, not one of them would have been possible without the support I have received from so many people whom I love and admire and have been honored to work with and work for. If I am a strong and accomplished woman, it is only because I have known and worked with so many for so long who have empowered me, giving me strength and confidence, and who have provided me with models of how to manage success and failure, how to lead, and how to build relationships. This night is the culmination of years of relationships built, the layering of lessons from parents, siblings, assistants, administrators, players, managers, peers, and all the people who celebrate our victories and agonize over our defeats. Tonight belongs to all of us. Thank you.